Marble World just released a brand new update adding logic gates. So today we're going to be messing around with some of those gates. Let's jump in. All right, so here we are on my logic test map, and I kind of wanted to go over some of the basics of this. So as you can see, the brand new tab we now have is this logic tab, and we get 3 new track pieces, which is pretty cool. So I've set up a few tracks that actually use all of these pieces, which I'll be getting to in a little bit. But first, I kind of want to go over the basics. So one of the things that we have here is a trigger, and this is a trigger that basically detects when there's a marble inside of it, and a moving marble at that. So if I were to take away this booster here, and I'm gonna go ahead and connect this up to something really quick. So I'm gonna grab like a light here. So here we have a light. I'm going to go to linking mode, and we're going to go ahead and connect the out to the in on the light. So now when there's a marble inside this square, this light should light up. So let's go ahead and do that. It's actually kind of hard to see. So instead of a light, I'm actually going to use a OR gate. So I'm going to take this OR gate, I'm going to stick that there, and we're going to go ahead and connect it the same way. Delete all the marbles. All right, let's do this again. So now you can see the OR gate lights up, but it instantly goes back out. And I believe that's because the physics of the game stopped calculating on marbles that aren't moving. So if you wanted to use a marble as a trigger, you would have to keep it moving. And we would do that by... Actually, I don't know how we do that. We'd probably place like a block here, and we'd put it on a booster to make it constantly go. So let's get this booster here. So now it's constantly being boosted. So there we would have a switch that would stay on the entire time. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. If the marble isn't moving in a trigger zone, it is not going to be triggered by the marble unless you tell it to move. So right now, technically, even though it's sitting still, it is being affected by this booster, which is pushing it. All right, so the first thing we're going to build here is a switch, something that you can turn off and on. And this is one of my first setups, but we can actually make it a lot simpler than this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete these. The way we can make a switch on here is actually just by using 2 XOR gates. So if I go ahead and link these up, we're gonna go out to in, and I'm gonna take this out to that in there. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this OR gate because we're gonna be able to see this a little bit better. So now if I spawn a marble, these 2 gates are going to turn on. And there's actually a lot of cool things that we can do with that. If I spawn another marble, it turns off. If I spawn another marble, it turns on. By the way, shout out to Khan for helping me with this. He helped me simplify it. I did have a bit more of a complex system that did the same thing, but it turns out you can do this with the 2 XOR gates here. So here we go. We got a switch now. So we're actually going to be using that to do a lot of things. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to make it so that each time a marble passes through each of these sections, this flipper is going to go back and forth. And I just set up like a little test area here. If I spawn the marbles, you can see it'll only allow 1 to go through at a time. So what we want this to do is every time a marble goes through, we want it to switch sides. So let's go ahead and set that up now. So just to keep this nice, I'm going to get one of my decorations here. We're going to spawn it right next to here. There we go. And now I'm going to stick a couple logic gates on it. So let's go grab our XOR gates. They're spawning inside the block right now, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and move the block down. There we go. Now we have our 2 XOR gates, and I'm going to link them up the same way I did before. So the out to in, out to in. All right, that's perfect. So now I want each of these triggers to make this switch turn off and on. So I'm going to grab the out from each of these. I'm going to make it go to the same in. So there we go. We've got 2 of those going there now. Let's go ahead and spawn these marbles again and see what happens. So here they come. And of course, I definitely forgot to link up another thing. We need the out of one of these to actually go to the track piece. So there we go. I forgot to do that, but now it all should work. Let's go ahead and spawn the marbles in once again. And here they come. You can see now it flips back and forth because the switch is turning off and on, and each time one of the marbles hits one of these pads, it makes it switch back and forth. So that's kind of cool. So you can make it so that you can perfectly evenly split marbles between two tracks. Moving on to one of my next things, it's kind of a lot harder to do that when you have a giant track. You actually, I don't even know if that's possible if they're not coming down in a single file line, but what we can do is we can split it up in a similar way. So I actually made a little contraption here, and all I have to do is add the logic for this to work. So we have two triggers, and every time this marble spins around and goes through one of these triggers, we're gonna use that to actually flip the track back and forth. But we do need to add the logic in. So let's go ahead and go over to my logic tab. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna use two XOR gates. We're just gonna stick them there for now, and we're gonna link them up the exact same way. So out to in, out to in, and I'm gonna move these up so we can actually see them. There we go, there are our links. And now I'm gonna take both of these outs and I'm gonna bring them to the same in here. And I'm gonna take this out and bring it over to the track piece here. So now, as you can see, it's already working. This marble, every time it hits one of these triggers, it flips the track back and forth. And let's go ahead and see that in action with some marbles coming down. There we go. It actually goes back and forth. And we can even speed this up. So this is kind of cool. So with the timing, oh, looks like we got two marbles in there now. Let's go ahead and delete all the marbles. Let's go ahead and turn the speed on this up. So we can actually make this happen way faster. 20 should be insane. I actually don't even know if the marble's going to make it in there. It definitely did not. Hold on, let's actually bring the speed down for a second here. Flip the gates, we'll spawn the marbles in, and now I can actually adjust this speed. So let's bring this up to, like, I don't know, maybe a 10. Hopefully the marble doesn't fly out. There we go. Now it's flipping super fast, and we can now release the gate here, and you can see what happens. It just sends the marbles back and forth. So that's kind of cool. Moving on to the next track piece. So this is kind of probably my favorite track piece, just because I can think of a lot of uses to use this for. But anyway, so this is a piece that will have the entire bottom fall out. It's kind of similar to this other piece that we've had for a while. This one here. So as soon as this fills up with marbles, it will tip over using an offset of gravity. So if it fills up with marbles, it will tip. But what's cool about this is we can actually hook it up to logic and make it only tip when every single marble has made it through, which is not something you could have done with the other one. But let me show you. So we're going to go ahead and add some logic to this to make it work. So it's a pretty simple contraption. What's happening right now is that it just detects all the marbles in this zone, and as soon as they leave this zone, we want the floor to drop out on this. And we can do that pretty simply just by adding one logic gate. And that is a NOT gate. So I'm going to take a NOT gate and stick it right here. And for that, we're going to go into linking mode, and I'm going to link the out of the marble detector to the in of the NOT gate, and the out of the NOT gate into the floor. So now you can see it working. So if we go ahead and spawn the marbles in again, you can see it in action. So the floor will not drop until all of the marbles have left the zone. Granted that they don't get stuck. If they get stuck, it will definitely drop the floor, because like I said at the beginning, if once a marble stops moving, the physics stop calculating on it. So that works now. So that's pretty cool. So we can see that again. Here we go. All the marbles dropping out is soon. Oh, look at that. We got a marble stuck. So now you can see with the stuck marble, it stopped calculating it. So as soon as all the moving marbles made through, the floor dropped out. Anyway, on to the next setup I have here. So I was trying to think of another way to use these slider pieces, and I was thinking, how cool would it be if one marble, if we had a team race and one marble made it to a specific spot on the track that was generally hard to get to. I wanted it to create a shortcut for all the marbles that got jammed up. So that's what we have going on here. So all the marbles get jammed up, and if one marble makes it onto this other side, I wanted the an alternate route to open up. As you saw there, a bunch of marbles just went through, and it kind of helps out the team. And I guess this is already set up. There's no real logic for this one besides the marble detecting zone, and I just linked that up to the main piece here, and it's kind of cool. So if we had a team race, you can see that imagine they're all the same color. The whole team would have a big advantage if one of the marbles made it. Anyway, on to the next one. Something I've done a lot in the past is make elimination tracks, and I was trying to find an easier way to make these elimination tracks using the logic that we now have in the game. In the past, what I've done is actually not too complex, but there's just a lot of tiny pieces that you would normally use. So generally I would have the marbles stack up, and the last one to make it through would get a little bit of boost from something that would push it out, and then it would actually go into a mechanism that would release the marbles. But this is actually a much cleaner setup. I actually got a couple of these. This one, I don't know if it would work every single time, but let me go ahead and just show you how this would work. So we got 10 marbles on here, and as soon as the last marble goes through, of course those get stuck this one time. As soon as the last marble would get through here, I would want it to flip this gate here. And in order to do that, once again, I do need to set up the logic for it. So again, we're going to use a NOT gate like we did before. And all we want to happen is as soon as the last marble leaves this zone, we want it to flip this track piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and link that up to there. And then as soon as that last marble, after it flips, as soon as it goes through to the other side, I would want this marble detector here to release the rest of the marbles. So now we should have a working elimination race. So let's go ahead and send the marbles down again. You can see all of the marbles make it through, and then it flips over and allows the marbles to continue, which is kind of cool. Now, I don't know if this is going to work every single time. It honestly hasn't failed for me yet. I found that it's simple is better. I was actually trying to make a marble counter earlier so that it would actually count all 10 marbles. I couldn't quite figure it out. I got a lot of iterations of that. So I guess I just decided that simple is better. So this is much simpler than all of that. And like I said, I don't know if this is going to work every single time. Like, what if 2 marbles are like super close together? Is it always going to do that last one? I don't really know, but I can almost guarantee that it would only do the last one if we delayed the marbles. So this one has a marble delay on it. Again, we're going to set it up once again. So let me go ahead and stick a NOT gate on here. So I just have this little zone right here. Let's go ahead and go to linking mode. We're going to link this up to the in. The out goes to the track piece. I got some unnecessary things on here too, but the out of this marble detector goes to the bigger track piece. And that should be good. I can actually delete this because I was trying something, like I said, I was trying to do a marble counter there before. But anyway, let's go ahead and spawn these marbles in again. I can almost guarantee that this should work every single time, as it does delay the marbles. They all go through one at a time. And I think I can safely say that this will probably not fail. Just because it does delay the marbles and nothing random can happen. I was just thinking, because in this one, if 2 marbles ever went at the exact same time through the ending here, see the spacing, if they ever were on top of each other, it could accidentally eliminate 2 of them, or maybe none of them. I don't know. Something probably could happen on this one, but I would think that this should be not fail. However you want to say that. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the things that I've made with the new logic pieces. Hopefully gives you guys some ideas, because I'd love to hear what you guys want me to make in the future using this logic. If you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments below. Oh, and just before leaving, some things to know about this update, what I would love to see in the future, hopefully we can get some connectors to maybe connect to like some ping pong paddle or some pinball paddles. That way we can, like, you know, if something is set off, we instead of a button on the keyboard, it would be amazing if we could get logic to maybe make a flipper go. I would love just one of these flippers, actually. Just a flipper without the track piece would be amazing. Also, if you could hook up to maybe some kind of physics pieces to make those turn, or maybe these bomb pieces, I don't know. It'd be super awesome. I would also love to see us be able to connect to portals, to basically tell portals to turn on or off. Stuff like that. But anyway, I'm super excited about this update, and hopefully you guys are too. Again, let me know down in the comments below if you have any ideas for me to do in the future. Also, if you liked today's video, be sure to smash that like button. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!